Looking good?
Yep.
Well, this was the only spot that was not windy. We'll see what we can do. So I got a couple comments asking what size frame I run. Figured I would just make a video about it. That way I don't have to keep responding to all the comments. So there's a few different sizes of the frame that make up for why I run this size top tube. I used to ride 20.8s back in the day, or 27.5s, and then I went to 21s because I had more room and tricks felt a little easier. Now I'm currently on a 20.6, which is the smallest frame I've ever ridden. I like it for a lot of reasons. One thing that people think when you go to a shorter frame is like clearance with the bars in your knee, but it's like not that big of a difference. Worst case, cut your bars down like a 1/4 inch, and that would make up the difference from going to like a 21 to a 27.5. So with this frame, also my bars sit a little more forward because this is a 75.25 front end. On a traditional frame, it's 75. So if you're on a 75 and a 20.6, it's gonna feel a lot closer because it's a little bit more mellow. Whereas like if you go to a 21 and a 75.5, it's gonna feel a whole lot longer because not only are you extending this length, but you're also tilting the bars forward more. So there's a few different things that to keep into consideration when you're buying a frame, is look at all the dimensions and not just the top tube. It's kind of in the middle here. It's very short here, but the 20.6 makes tricks really easy as far as like spin tricks, bar tricks, because you're a little bit more over the front end, or the front end's brought a little closer to you. Like whip tricks, I think are a little bit easier because it's not as long of a bike to swing around, and it's very little. So to be honest, when I went from like the 21, even the 21 to this, I don't really notice a huge difference. I rode the same exact frame in a 20.8. I can't really tell a difference, but it's kind of like a mental thing, so I just wanted the shorter one. My back end is not that short though. So the back end is a 13.25. And I like a slightly shorter back end than like the S&Ms I was on, because those were like 13.25 to 13.6, so they were a little bit longer. So I know right now 12.8 or 13 is kind of on the shorter end, but this centered is 13.25, so I've got it a little bit in more, so slightly shorter than that. But I like the longer back end for like jumping box jumps and whatnot, but still a little bit shorter so that I can get more technical, snappy tricks off the back end. A couple other things to keep in mind is most of the frames have a standard seat post geometry. If they change that on the frames, then that's gonna change the entire feel of this tube length. Also, let me just state that I am 5'10" on a good day, roughly 5'10". If you're taller, you probably want a longer frame because you have, you know, a little bit more length on your knees, so you're more likely to hit the front end. You get a little more space if you're taller. And then if you're shorter, you know, go with the shorter frame. But like I said, I've ridden 21s and now a 26, and I don't feel a huge difference. I still feel like I have plenty of room on this. Tricks do feel a little bit easier on this than on a 21, and that's why I ride the 20.6. Just makes things a little bit easier. And I don't know, I just like the feeling of this. I probably won't go longer than a 20.8 again. Probably try to stay on the 20.6 as long as I can. Also, I ride a lot of park, so if you ride more street, you might like a little bit longer front end. If you're doing more trails, you'll definitely want probably a longer back end if you're not doing all the tricks or spinning, because you'll get a little bit more stability with a longer frame. Yeah, I don't think it matters. If you're trying to decide what size frame is right for you, think about how you're gonna ride as opposed to how tall you are. If you're standard height like I am, anything will work for you. So the longer frames were nicer for like, I don't know. I really don't know. There's not a huge difference to me, but the longer frames were a little more stable. These are a little more twitchy. Having the slightly longer back end and a slightly shorter front end makes it more stable in the air, but also a little bit more responsive, and you're over top of things, so whips come around easier, bars are a little bit easier. I think that's all the information you need. I don't know, if you see short frames like 20.5, 20.6, don't let that scare you. It's just a little bit of a difference, and if you want to ride more park, those shorter frames are easier to do park tricks on. Also, forgot to mention, this is the DK Phase frame. This is my third one, second that I've really ridden, but just in case you were wondering, this is the DK Phase frame, and it is awesome. Yeah, also don't mind the dent. It's slightly twitchy, slightly stable, so it's like a perfect in between. If you want one of these, hit me up. Also, this is a color that I painted myself, so it doesn't come in this color. Also, I put stickers on that kind of tore off. But if you are interested in one of these, hit me up. I can get you a little discount on one. So yeah, hopefully this video helped you out. Hopefully you got all the information you needed. If not, comment down below and I'll try to answer all those questions in the comments of this video. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like videos like this, click the like button. If you have any other suggestions, comment those below. And if you don't want to miss out on future content, click that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.